Why some people regret moving to Middleton, Idaho. Boise has a ton of suburbs, and Middleton is the smallest of the suburbs, so it attracts people looking to live in a smaller town. There are also some things people come across that create some regret after moving to Middleton. So let's talk about Middleton and hopefully help you avoid any regret when moving to the Boise area. My name is Brady Fagel, and I am a Boise local and a real estate agent. Middleton holds a special place in my life, and my grandparents lived out here for many years, and I spent a lot of time in Middleton, and it has plenty of great things. But one of the biggest reasons people regret their move here was even an issue when I was a kid, and that is the location. Middleton is about 45 to 60 minutes west of Boise. It's in between Caldwell and Star, and it is the smallest suburb in the Treasure Valley. But I remember as a kid always complaining about the drive to Grandpa's house. Now that drive is even worse than when I was a kid. Most people moving to Middleton are aware of the commute times, and a lot of people think it won't be an issue, or they don't care to spend a ton of time in Boise going to the concerts or the restaurants or going to the Village in Meridian, which is a popular outdoor mall. But some people underestimate how far the drives are, and then how often they actually end up going into the city to do those things. If you are someone who has lived in a small town before and you have experience driving into the city to run errands or go to events, then you won't have any issues. This problem's more for those of you who are moving from the bigger cities in California or Washington and Texas, and you have a dream of a small town and a home on an acre. But then when you actually move there to the small city or a place like Middleton, you realize that you miss the restaurants and you miss the concerts and the events and the social life, and you underestimate the drives to do all of those things. Middleton is close to Boise, but it is farther than people might think. A better happy medium for both small town acreage feel while being closer to all of the things to do would be a suburb like Eagle or even Star or Kuna. They are 15 to 30 minutes closer to places like the Village in Meridian, which is the cool outdoor mall with a giant park, and even little things like a green belt and parks along the Boise River are a step up from what you get in Middleton, and that's things that Star and Eagle have that Middleton doesn't. Middleton has the Boise River, but it doesn't have those green belts, or it doesn't have any development to enjoy the river in the same way that Star and Eagle do. But before we get into the rest of the Middleton regrets, again, my name is Brady Fagel, and I make these videos to hopefully help you make the best decision for you and your family, whether that is moving to the Boise area or learning that you should be moving somewhere else other than Boise. I want to help you. And it is a big reason that I work with my clients. I don't have team members or anyone else show you homes or the areas. If you choose to reach out to me through text or call to have help moving here, then I should be the one to help you. So if you have any questions, and even if you're not thinking of moving to Boise for a while, reach out to make a plan and have me as a resource to answer any of the personal questions you have. The next regret people can have with Middleton is that it does not have medical access close by. A lot of people like to retire in Middleton because it is more quiet and you can live on land for a little bit cheaper price. But unfortunately, when we get older, things start to go wrong. And I know some of you are probably stubborn like me and forget to realize that will happen, even though I'm not old, or I'm not older yet. I'm still pretty young, but they have that I don't need a doctor mentality, you know, so when moving here, people skip out on where the hospitals are. They don't look into it. And I'm halfway joking with that, but for some people, it is either a lack of knowledge or something unforeseen comes up, and then the hospitals are important. And if you're living in Middleton, they're 20 to 40 minutes away. You have one in Nampa, and then the rest are 45 minutes away in Meridian and Eagle. Another thing about Middleton is the small town feel, which is a reason most of you are thinking about moving here. You want the small community where there's only one high school and there's a super conservative way of life, and that, you know, small town BLM land and the small shops. But sometimes that can start to turn into small town drama. Middleton isn't small enough to where you know everything about everyone. but it's small enough that you will deal with more of the small town dramas and politics that you wouldn't have to deal with in some of the bigger suburbs. And for some people that can be a con and can be a reason. It might not necessarily be a reason people regret moving to Middleton, but it can be something that can help push them away to some of the other suburbs. Another thing to touch on is the traffic in Middleton. Even though Middleton is a small town, there is a main highway that runs through Middleton, and it can create traffic problems, especially with the fast growth we are seeing, especially in its neighbors, Star and Caldwell. And so the regret comes with people thinking that choosing Middleton as a place to live was going to have no traffic and really feel like a true small town. And in this case, if you really want a true small town, Emmett, Idaho, or some of the cities to the south of town like Melba are going to be where you need to start looking. And yes, Middleton is 10 to 12,000 people or so, but it is connected to Star and Caldwell, like I mentioned, so it's not as small of a feel as some people might think. And then even places like Kuna with 40,000 people, which is where I live, and I love it out here, but it has 40,000 people and it can feel smaller at times than even Middleton does because of its off on its own. It's its own island down south with no traffic from some of the other suburbs coming through, and then Kuna also planned a little bit better for some of the growth. So Middleton continues, or Middleton can feel like it's not as small as even a Kuna. Middleton continues to grow. There's almost 1,000 people right now every year moving to Middleton, and then Star next door is growing twice as fast, which is bleeding into Middleton. And so it's the smallest town, but it won't be as much of a small town as some people might think. And then in the future, it's going to be growing and turn into even less of a small town. Regardless, Middleton is an amazing place with an amazing community. So if you're okay with those longer drives into all of the amenities, the hospitals, then Middleton is definitely worth exploring further. But deciding if the Boise and Idaho area is a place that you can live, that's going to be the more important part when it comes down to weather and things like that. And so I talk about that in this video here, where I go through everything you need to know about all the pros and cons of Boise and Idaho, and including that weather and the home prices and everything in between, because you want to make sure Idaho and the Treasure Valley is still going to fit you. So thank you for watching. I look forward to meeting you.